I'm crossing my fingers that this is working. Let me just see if this is working. I'm trying something new. It's very exciting if I can do it, if technology will work with me. Oh my gosh, I think it's worked. Has it worked? I can see some of you. So this is an experiment and I'm hoping it works. Now I've gone black again. Cross your fingers, everybody. I think I'm live in Facebook. You just have to let me know if you can hear me. It's working in the Hangout. Yes, it's working in the Hangout. Right, have I gone black? I'm hoping I haven't gone black. I seem to have gone blank. I'm just going to check some other places and see if I'm working everywhere. This is a big experiment. It's very exciting though. You should be able to see me in the Hangout and on the Facebook page and in the yoga. I've got yoga on my YouTube channel. I did yoga this morning. I've been trying to do yoga every day at the moment. Let's just have a look where I am. And we'll see if I've managed to go live. Truly Myrtle podcast. Bear with me. I'm just checking all the things. Oh, I am. I'm live there as well. Hi, everybody in YouTube. I don't know if anyone will actually be there, but I'm live there, and then we'll just check one more thing, and I should be live on the Facebook page. This is amazing. I am. All right. Okay. I'm just trusting that it's working. My screen has gone black, so I'm hoping that you can all see me. Where am I now? 17 comments. Oh, it's gone dead. Oh no, please don't let it be dead. That'll be terrible. Okay. It's working. Hangout group. Yay. Really clear. Better than before. Not gone black. Can see you. Okay, right. Let me start from the beginning. We'll rewind. Hi, everybody. How are you? I've had lots of people asking me to come back to YouTube and to do other things, and I know that I've got my Facebook page, and there are lots of people on my Facebook page who aren't in my Facebook group, and so I thought, is there a way for me to talk to you all at the same time that isn't massively time consuming? And it turns out there is. Through the wonders of technology, there is this way that I can go live in all the places. I'm just hoping that it's keeping on working. So basically right now, hopefully you're seeing me on YouTube, and you're seeing me on my Facebook page, the Truly Myrtle Facebook page, and also in the Truly Myrtle Facebook group, which we call the Hangout. There's about 2,000 people in the Hangout, so you're more than welcome to come and join us. If you click over to Facebook and search the Truly Myrtle Knit and Chat Hangout, you'll find us and come and say hi over there too. It's a really fun and friendly group. But in the meantime, I thought I'd chat to you here in all the places. Oh, I'm quite excited about this. I feel like I'm just opened my door now. So hi, everybody. I wanted to show you something today that I thought was really, really fun that happened earlier. Well, it's actually happened at the end of last year. And now if you've been following me, if you've been keeping up with what I've been doing, which I've been kind of busy for a while, if you've been keeping up with what I've been doing, you will have seen that I got together with Marie Green from Olive Knits last year. Actually, we got together a couple of years before that. It took us a wee while to get going. And we created Pacifico Knits. And Pacifico Knits is this conglomeration of both of us. I'm just going to make sure that everybody's still okay and that you can all still see me. Looks like it's still live, so I'm just going to keep on going. We got together and we created Pacifico Knits, and because we both live on the edge of the Pacific Ocean. Marie lives in the Pacific Northwest in Oregon, and I live down here in New Zealand, and we both share the Pacific Ocean, and we have really similar climates where we both live. We have heaps in common. It's really strange, isn't it, when you meet people online and you start to get to know them. Sometimes you're really drawn to some people and you don't know, just from the little bit that you see of them, how much you're going to like them or how much you're going to have in common. And it turns out we've got a ton of things in common. We're the same age. We've just got tons of things in common. So we've really enjoyed putting together Pacifico Knits. We put our first collection out last year in September, which was a scramble to get everything done, and we both had 6 patterns each. I went to the States and we shot the whole collection together in Oregon. That was the first time we actually met in person. We spent a week together, had an absolute ball. We tripped around a little bit. We did the photography and we stayed at the beach in Oregon and sort of did a bit of sightseeing around there. And then we went back through Portland and Marie's place and then over to Hood River. And I got to go to a fabulous yarn shop there called Not Another Hat and met a whole lot of knitters there and bought yarn and had a lovely time. We showed off the stuff from our collection. So I had a really nice trip, and then we released the whole collection in September. Anyway, we got an email towards the end of last year from the Knitter magazine, this Knitter magazine, and they said, can we show off your collection in the magazine? And we said, sure thing. So they did, and it's so exciting to see yourself in print. So they gave us a whole half a page in their magazine. This was the December issue, and these are some of the bits that came out of our collection. It's really odd seeing yourself so large in a magazine. Like, it's cool seeing your stuff, but I still can't quite get used to seeing my own photo. I think when I look at those photos, I think, oh, there's truly Myrtle. She's doing her thing. I kind of don't really engage too hard with it, but there are some of the things that we made from the collection. That's my wave crest jumper. It's a little fingering jumper on a yoke neck, just with 2 colors. It's all slip stitches, so it's super easy. My little toy pattern, which is a little DK cardigan, which I made with gorgeous yarn from the UK. It was a BFL from, now I think the name is going to go completely out of my head. Oh, that's hopeless, isn't it? Like, I'm really good with the details. Not. But anyway, they were lovely. And there's one of Marie's shawl, and I think that one is called, what is that one called of Marie's? It probably says in here, actually. I have to put my glasses on. Wave crest, Travelist, and Travelist is her square one, actually. And what is the other one that she's got in there? I'm really bad with names. I'm actually really bad with names, so you'll have to forgive me. But there are 3 of them in there anyway, and I thought it would be fun to show you a couple more. So that was the Knitter magazine from December. It's a really nice magazine, actually. It's got a ton of stuff. I haven't seen the Knitter for ages. I used to get it more regularly when I lived in the UK, but it's got all sorts of things. There's designer secrets, fair hour tips from Alice Starmore, Marie Wallen, and Kate Davies. So that is just probably worth getting on itself, just to have some great tips. There's all sorts of things in it. Look at this. There's a whole page here. Look at all these stitch patterns in here. Just fantastic stuff. So anyway, I thought that was fun, and I thought I'd show you our little stardom in the Knitter magazine, which I was really pleased about. And then I thought I'd show you a couple of other things from the collection. Now let me just check if anyone's saying anything in any of the places. Everyone says it's working. I'll just have a little look on the Facebook page. People still watching over there. Oh, it's so fun. That's so fun. I can see it. Watching on holiday in Queensland. Quite raining in Queensland. Well, that's probably quite good, isn't it? There's probably a way that I can see all your comments at the same time. I just haven't figured out that piece of software as well. So when I do, that will be amazing. And I think what happens is we can all see each other's comments, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, there's a few people watching on YouTube. Hi everybody watching on YouTube. It's really nice. From Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Taranaki, Hawke's Bay, Massachusetts, from the UK. Oh, it's really fun, isn't it? I love this. I can talk to everyone at the same time. I will try and figure out the software so that if we can all see what everybody else is saying, because I think that'll make it really fun. Okay, so there's a couple of other things from that collection. I also had this jumper, which I loved last winter. I actually wore this once I got the collection shot. It was still cold enough. I went over in July, so I still had a good whack of the winter left here to wear it. And this one's called Serpentine. Now you'll notice the one I'm wearing has these lovely panels down the side, these lace panels. This one is called, you're going to get me now. I just said it before, didn't I? Hang out people. I just told you what it's called before. I want to say Neve, and it's not called Neve, but it's something like that. It's one of my ones. My brain has just gone completely dead. Anyway, it's a linen top. I use quince and go linen, and you knit the panels down the sides first and then you knit the body. And I saw someone who had made one in a wool yarn not long after I released this, and she'd made it up in the wool yarn and it just looked amazing. She wore it as sort of a like a vest like top over the top of a skinny rib top underneath, and then jeans. It looked really fantastic, and it inspired me to think of a way of turning it into a jumper. So I had actually already thought about ways of incorporating this way of making a jumper, you know, this construction, as a heavier sweater. And when I saw hers, I was just completely inspired to have a go at doing it for real. So I used Brooklyn Tweed's Shelter, which is a worsted weight yarn. It's a beautiful woolen spun yarn. They dye the fibre and then they spin it, so it has beautiful flex all the way through it. It's a lovely light yarn. The thing about woolen spun yarn is that you can have quite a big full sweater. This is quite a full sweater. It's got creases in it because it's been folded up in one of my tubs, waiting for the winter to come back. So it's quite a full sweater. There's a lot of knitting, a lot of yarn in the sweater, a lot of knitting in the sweater, but it's not heavy. It is so incredibly light, and so you get the benefit of being really warm. You get the benefit of having some of that sloppiness without the weight, which I really like, because I'm a person who likes to get stuff done and I move quickly, and to be weighed down is not something that I feel really comfortable being. I'm just not comfortable being weighed down by clothing, although I love layers of clothing. So yeah, I can sort of wear something tight under this and throw it over the top, and I'd like to wear it with, I've got these lovely really super high waisted tight French navy jeans, and I feel really fantastic when I wear it with that stuff. So it's what I wore those jeans in the photos actually. So it's the same idea. Serpentine, you knit the cable, because I didn't want lace for a winter garment, so I chose a cable, and you knit this fun wavy cable down both sleeves, and you'll see the sleeves are significantly longer than they are in the original linen one. So you knit these long cables down each sleeve, and then you pick up along the cables across to the front and down the other panel for the front and the back. You just do a little bit of working for the neck first, then you join it together in the middle, and then you work short rows down the whole front. It's really fun. You do short rows down the whole front until you get to the bottom of the sleeve, and then you leave your sleeve stitches on spare needles, and you come back later and you graft those together. And there are a few more in this than there are in this. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to cough. But it's actually quite fun just to graft it all together. And I give you instructions. Do I give you instructions? I can't remember if I do now on that. I may not have. I should probably make some. And then you carry on and you just do the bottom in the round. And this one is all reverse stockinette, but when you get to knitting in the round, I get you to flip it and you actually knit. You just knit. So you're knitting it inside out till you get to the bottom. You knit the rib inside out, and then you cast off and flip it all in the right way again, and then you have the reverse stockinette showing, because I love the texture of that in this yarn. So Serpentine's really fun. It's got a super simple bind off at the neck, and the cuffs rather beautifully flow right from the cable. So you pick the cuffs up and you do them after, and they flow from the cables. And if you know me, you know that these kind of details make me very, very happy. So I got a huge amount of pleasure out of designing and making this garment, and now I really enjoy wearing it. I feel like I'm super comfortable. I can throw it on and I can feel relaxed and comfortable, but I also feel just a little bit cool, which is pretty big cool for a woman who's nearly 50. But I just feel like it's really snazzy. I really enjoy it. So that was one of the ones from the collection. You can get a totally different look if you swap it out for this is a woolen spun, if you swap it for a worsted spun. So do you know about different yarns? I say this kind of thing all the time, but a woolen spun is, I imagine that it's the original way of spinning. I think in my head, there's no waste. It's a beautiful way of spinning because there's no waste. But I imagine that they sort of sweep everything off the floor. They just sort of throw it through the machines and out comes the yarn, all higgledy-piggledy in every which way. It can have a tendency to feel a little scratchier or a little rougher because all the ends are sticking out every which way. It doesn't have a sheen because, again, it has just all these little ends. And I'm sure they don't actually sweep it off the floor, but I bet once upon a time they did, because I bet it was, I mean, who wants to waste good yarn, good fibre? So I bet they just swept everything off the floor, but not anymore. And I bet Brooklyn Tweed definitely don't sweep things off the floor. Worsted yarn, in comparison, is where they lay all the fibres straight, so everything is aligned. It's beautifully straight, so there's no little poking out ends. It tends to be softer. It tends to be much sleeker because it all lies the same way, and it also tends to be a much tighter spin. Woolen spun, you can't spin it so tight. It tends to get a bit like rope, so you tend to have a looser spin with woolen spun. Worsted spun can be spun super tight, so if you find a yarn that's a really tight little spin, you can be pretty sure it's a worsted spun yarn. Now, they're not always spun like that, but that is just one thing you can do with worsted spun. But if you choose a worsted spun for something like this, two things will happen. One thing that will happen is that your cable and all the ribbing and everything will absolutely pop. It will just be beautifully crisp because it's all twisted stitches. It's going to stand out really well. But the other thing that's going to happen is that any imperfection in your reverse stockinette is going to show. You're going to notice it. There's no hiding with worsted spun knitting and stockinette. It's just all going to show. So if you're worried about that and you've swatched and you realize that your yarn is a worsted spun, you want to make this jumper, it's going to be heavier overall, but it depending on how big you make it or depending on whether you like that may not matter. But if you think that it's going to show all the imperfections, maybe swap out the reverse stockinette for stockinette and just actually knit. Where I say purl, you knit, and where I say knit, you purl. And you do that for the body, because I think you'll get quite a different look and it might play with your yarn better. But anyway, those are just a couple of ideas for you if you're thinking of making it. I know that winter is coming along down here in the southern hemisphere. People are starting to think about what they might get on their needles for winter, and I can recommend this one. It's not only a really fun knit, but it's also it's really lovely to wear. So did I mention that it had a split hem at the bottom with little, I mean, it's just all these little details, you know, they make me a very happy person. Okay, let me see if you're saying anything that I should reply to. I'm here in YouTube. Nula, it's Nula. Thank you so much. Jays2211. Nula. This one is called Nula. Gosh, I don't know what's happened to my brain. I think I'm too excited. Hello from Portugal. Okay, so what else have we got? Let's have a look over on Facebook. What are people saying? This is really fun, isn't it? I thought I might just pop in again. Oh, great. You guys are saying Nula as well. Thank you, Nicole and Becky. Jill says she loves the sweater construction. Have you made this one, Jill? I don't think you have. I think you've made Phoenix, haven't you? And Jill's from Hood River in Oregon. That's the shop I went to at Not Another Hat. She works there. Such a good shop. Hi, me from Denmark, and Garland from Oamaru. Oh, it's so fun seeing you all here. Okay, and then I'm going to hop back to my hangout, and this is the crew that have already actually seen me this morning. So every Thursday morning at 10 o'clock New Zealand time, I have a live chat. That's where I've been chatting, endlessly chatting. I am full of chatter. You know that from me. That's where I've been chatting for the last, I don't know how long, since the end of last year. And I go every Thursday. I'm in the hangout. So if you want to catch up with me more, you can follow me on my blog. You can come over to the hangout and join us, and I'll do chatting every single Thursday. I show you all the stuff I'm making. You get sneak peeks of stuff that I can't show people, so we just pretend like I'm not showing, and we just keep it to ourselves of new things that are coming. And we have real fun over there. So if you want to come and join us over there, I can see lots of people in there as well. Although I can't see all your comments, so it might be that Oh, okay. Yes, you are. I can see some more now. Claire says she loves the Knitter magazine. Yes, that one here, but in Whitcoulls. It's in Whitcoulls, which is a New Zealand shop, but it's 3 months behind. Yeah, it's a drag, isn't it, that it's so behind? I wonder if that issue's hit the stands yet here. That would be nice. I wonder also, can you get it, can you subscribe to it and get it sooner than that? I don't know. There's, it's always nice to get a knitting magazine. I used to quite often get them when I went on holiday, especially when I lived in the UK. There seemed to be more available and more around, at least I noticed them. And we would go often camping in France, and as we sort of got down towards leaving the country, or got, so some of those big petrol stations that you stop off on the way as you're driving towards the train to go across into France, I would stock up on various magazines, The Knitter and Simply Knitting, and there was Knit Now was another one. I'm sure there were others, and I used to stock up a bit, and I used to indulge in all these lovely knitting magazines and be inspired when I was on holiday. Okay, so, and lots of you are also telling me it's Noola. Thank goodness that you guys remember what my stuff is called. This happens to me when I'm at shows as well. And I have a lot of patterns now. I think there are over 70. And I've culled them a little bit for the shows, but I have everything on my racks, and I'm trying things on people. I'm having a lovely time, and I know what the pattern is in my head, and I go and grab it, and then I don't know what the name is anymore. I absolutely cannot remember the name. And I think it's because naming is my least favorite thing to do. But thank goodness someone always knows, and so they tell me, oh, it's a so-and-so. Oh, thank goodness, because I'm never going to remember myself. Okay, the other one I wanted to show you from my Pacifico collection that I did with Marie is this shawl. Now, this has to be one of my all-time favourite shawls now. I wore this the first chance I got to wear it, because I try not to wear things until they're photographed, because otherwise I'm likely to spill food on them, or something will happen, or leave it somewhere. I've never done that yet, but it's always a fear. But anyway, as I was coming home from the States last year in July, I got off the plane back here in New Zealand. I'd gone from beautiful hot summer weather there, got off the plane. It was freaking freezing as I got off the plane. I think it was actually early morning. No, it might have been evening. Mr. Myrtle came to pick me up from the airport, and I was really cold. And as I jumped off the plane and I went through the airport, I thought, aha, I know what I've got. I'd packed all my sample knits in my carry-on luggage so they didn't go missing, because that was a fear of mine. And I grabbed this one out and I flung it over my shoulders. I went into the toilets and I washed my face and I washed my hands, because I always like to do that when I get off a plane. And then I flung this around my shoulders, just over the clothes I had on, and I felt a little bit like a superstar coming out of the airport, because, you know, you like to daydream. I like to daydream. So I throw this on. I can't actually see myself so well, but it's a big triangle shawl. I can hear the fan above my head is making funny noises. If you can hear it, that's what it is. It has these cool buttonholes that you are integrated with the border, and then it has these big buttons. So you can do it up and you can have it on, and that's kind of how I wore it. And so I came out and I felt pretty fantastic in my cool shawl. Nobody else knew, but I knew that I'd made it, and it was pretty fabulous. So it doesn't fall off in the wind, and here in New Zealand we don't have a huge need for warm coats and shawls on top, and we do it some days in the winter, but mostly it's damp and it's sort of mid-temperature winter. So this on a medium day actually gives you a lot of warmth. You don't need to, you know, have anything else. This could serve as a coat, but I think it's pretty jolly fabulous. So there's another button I could do up there. I'll show you how it's made in a second. But yeah, see? All buttoned. You can do it a little more neatly if you actually took the time to look in the mirror. And then I wear it like that. And it's got this all over texture. It's just beautiful. I used Julie Asselin's Nurtured base. I think that's the correct name. And it's this lovely tweedy woolen. It is a worsted spun, but it's this, I'm pretty sure. But it's this lovely tweedy complex colorway, because in here there's pops of blue and gold and bronze and creams, and all together they make that beautiful mushy sort of colors. So it is just fantastic. It's called Flux, and it has that lovely waving. a waving pattern. I'm going to show you. I'll take it off and show you, because actually I'm really hot now because it's actually summer here in New Zealand. It's not very cold today. It has this lovely waving texture all over it. I don't know if my screen is going to be good enough for you to see that, but it's this chevron pattern all the way through. So it's a fairly, once you're in the rhythm of it, it's a fairly simple construction. You start in the corner, you work your way up. The longest row is this last row at the end. And then as you're casting off, I get you to make this I-cord border all the way round two sides, down the two short. There's the very long edge, which we put the buttons on. I'll show you that in a second. But then this I-cord border, you knit all the way around. You pick up stitches for this side. For the last side, you don't bind off. Instead, you work the buttonhole borders, and then you turn the corner. You have picked up stitches down the other side, and you just keep working that buttonhole border. It's not like, it's good if you pick up the right number of stitches, but if you don't, it's really easy just to fudge it and make it work. So it's not one that I'd be overly pedantic about when I'm picking up the stitches. I would shoot for the right number, but if you don't get there, you can definitely, once you've done a few of these buttonholes, you can see how you could make them shorter or longer depending on what you need. You can also adapt the buttonholes depending on the size of your buttons. So I found these rather gorgeous coconut buttons at my local button shop, which I periodically tell you about because it's so fabulous. It's called the Old So-and-So, and I live near Pukekohe in Auckland, and it's in Pukekohe. It's a fabulous shop. If you're passing, you must visit. It has an amazing selection of buttons. So I chose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 10 buttons that I put on either side, so you have the option of how to tie it up. And so I needed my buttonholes to work for those buttons. So you'll see they fit really well in those buttons. Now this yarn is quite a woolly yarn. It has a little bit of grit to it. It's not scratchy, but it definitely has a bit of guts to it. And so the buttons don't slip out. But if you were to pick a yarn again, if you were to choose one of those really sleek worsted yarns that I mentioned before, nice rounded yarn, plump yarn, it would be stunning, and the texture in the shawl would absolutely pop. It would look so good. You'd also get a lot of drape in it. It would be lovely, I think, but your buttons might slip out of your buttonholes if you're not careful with the size of the buttonhole versus the size of the button. So it might pay to choose your buttons as you're going or first, and then when you get to the buttonholes, you can sort of estimate, okay, so Libby says to you, do a couple of buttonholes to get a feel of it, and then you could maybe go back and make them smaller if you need to, so that your buttons don't slip out. And you can just try it as you're going. You can put your button through and see if it slips out. And that's the only thing that you could modify. I don't want you to be buttoned up and then all of a sudden your whole thing rips off in a big wind. That would be pretty bad. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting back into this one again. I think the colour of it as well is just so absolutely beautiful to me. It's one of those colours where it has got enough colour to keep it interesting, but it's actually a fabulous neutral, so it goes with a ton of stuff that I wear. So yes, that's what I thought I'd show you today. Oh, I'm quite excited that my broadcast has worked. So what I'm planning to do is pop in periodically. I probably won't tell you when I'm going to come, and I might not always do it. I won't always do it on this day or at this time, because I think it would be nice to kind of mix it up a little bit, so that more people can hop on and say hi, because I know right now a lot of people, certainly in the Southern Hemisphere, are at work. So what I might try and do is just pop on when I'm able. I'll keep a little running note in my diary. I thought I'd come on about every 10 days to say a quick hi, and I've got a bunch of stuff I want to show you. So I'm going to aim for that. So hopefully, if you're keen, keep an eye out here. If you're on YouTube, you could always subscribe, and then I think you can click a bell. And then if you click the bell, it'll tell you when I've gone live. And on the on the Facebook page, I know, because I do it for other people, you can be notified when I go live. So I think what you might do, I can't remember the mechanics of it. Usually I just push buttons until I've got there, until I've worked out that I've gone live with that person. But click around on some of those triple dot things, and it should say notified when you go live. You might have to go back to my Facebook page and find it on there, or maybe you can do it from this post that you're notified. I can't remember. I actually don't know the mechanics, but if I can do it, you can do it. So I just click around. I just click around until I figure out, oh, okay, now I'm notified when that person goes live. And then it comes into my notifications and I can click over. And I think you can also make it so that it can come up first on Facebook and it can ding you. I'm pretty sure you can make it ding when you get that notification as well. So that might be worth doing if you're really desperate to catch me live. And then in the Hangout, you guys will just see me when I go live. But I'm pretty sure that the same thing works in there too, that you can actually be notified when I go live. So yeah, there are a variety of things I may or may not be able to negotiate my way around with the software, or I could set up a little timer so that it will count down if I am going to go live. I might experiment with that. I think I can do that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just amazed I've been able to do this. So that's pretty exciting. Okay, look, I hope you all have a lovely couple of weeks, or whenever I see you next. Let's aim for about 10 days, I think. And enjoy your knitting. I'll just quickly zip through and see if anyone has anything fun to say. Oh, Claire says she subscribes to the Knitter magazine and gets it monthly. Oh, fantastic. Okay, well, let's hope it comes a little more often than than it hits the bookshelves then, do you think? Okay, so where am I? Let's have a look at the Facebook page and see. It would be good if I can get you all in the same place at the same time, wouldn't it? Jill said she knit Phoenix twice. I knew you'd knitted a Phoenix, Jill. That's fantastic. And she's doing a third one for herself in red and white. Oh, fantastic. Oh, Rosemary says she gets the Knitter magazine through the library digitally. Now, I knew you could do that, Rosemary. I'd totally forgotten. But you can, of course. I think you can get all sorts of things. I think you can get Interweave, a whole bunch of other magazines, can't you? Perhaps Vogue Knitting. I'm pretty sure you can get them through library apps. That would be really good. I think I did that for a while and I just found I couldn't keep up. Maybe I subscribed to too many. Oh, brilliant. Jill said that she figured out that live thing and she got a ding today and there I was. So that's fantastic. So that's on the Facebook page. Wonderful. So you can definitely be notified in there. Lots of people are saying hi in YouTube. Maureen says, yeah, we do that when we go away. If you're going south, it's the first BP gas station. Pies and coffee. Yeah, you stop when you have a pit stop, don't you, on the way. Fantastic. There's someone from Margaret from Austria. Oh, it's so nice to see you all here. It's really, really fun. I love catching up with you. I think next time I'll get you to tell me where you're all from, because this is so completely fascinating, where you're all from and who's awake right now. Amelia is coming from the Bronx in New York. Oh, I just can't wait. One day I'm going to visit all of you all around the world. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay. Have a lovely day. I've got lots of work to do, lots of knitting to do. I've got exciting things that I'm working on at the moment. I can't wait to tell you more about them. I think we're going to have really good fun this year. I'm already working on the second Pacifico collection with Marie. That's keeping us both busy, as well as a whole lot of other stuff behind the scenes. So stay in touch, subscribe to my newsletter, click those buttons so that you get notified when I go live, and come and say hi to me. I always love an email. So I'll see you later, everybody. Bye. Now I have to work out how to turn it off because I actually have no idea. So I'll go back to the other one and see if I can do it.